Shaped like a cat, it was a present from my brother. I read a lot of books, but I couldn't see between the lines. I'll have another cup of coffee if you don't mind.
Look at that. There's the title. Another cup of coffee. Good morning, Mr. Sanchez. Welcome to another morning of cup of Joe. Another cup of Joe morning. You know,
there's a woman named Emily Franson, daughter of the legendary Ray Franson, who owns Ray Franson's drums up in Kenner.
Okay.
But she's a very talented piano player who had some issues with her hands and had to stop playing, and she became a teacher. She started a podcast called My Nerd Brain, and it deals directly with musicians who have, a problem to overcome, either mental or physical, due to their playing, or that stems from their playing, or that prohibits them from playing. And I believe I was her first guest when she started it just before the pandemic. And it's a really great show. There's been some incredible musicians on it who've been incredibly honest about their struggles with various things. Mine was with dystonia.
Mm-hmm.
And one of the triggers of dystonia is anxiety. And so I'm making good progress with my dystonia, with my vocal teacher. I'm singing around the house. Things are coming back. The memory of how to sing is coming back. The muscles and the neurons in the brain, everybody's learning properly. But I have a trajectory that I'm on. I see myself performing at this point after so many lessons and so much practice. Well, my old friend Freddie Blue called up, and I love him dearly. And he had just made a record, and I'd gone to his record release party. And he texted, would you be in a video for Foot of Canal Street, the song I wrote with John Boutte? So I thought, sure, I'll go down to the Marsalis Center and mime the song Foot of Canal Street to their record and appear in the video. That sounds like fun. I love Freddie.
This happened over the weekend?
This was yesterday it was going to happen, but he texted me a couple days ago. And then he texts about an hour later and he says, what kind of amp do you want? And I thought, well, that's kind of a funny question. We're doing a video. Who cares if I'm plugged in? I'll a guitar and we'll stick a chord in it and it leads to Magic Land. Who cares?
Right.
But then I go, well, are we playing the song live? And he goes, yeah, we're gonna do the video live. And I was like, wow. Okay, I mean, I haven't sung in, a long, long time, and I don't know if I can yet, but I'll come with the guitar and we'll see what happens. Well, fortunately, he had a lot of singers there. But I arrived late, which I hate doing, makes me nervous anyway. So anxiety. I walk in and I'm nervous and setting up in front of the band. I'm supposed to be the old pro from Dover, and here I am just fumbling around with setting up in front of these young guys. and then Freddie walks over to me. He goes, so there's a set list and we're ready to go. And I'm like, excuse me. He goes, yeah, you're sitting in the whole set, aren't you? I said, what whole set? We were doing a video for the Canal Street. And he goes, yeah, but you'll rock, you're great. And I go, can you tell me the key of the first song? That's a good start for me,
Right.
I know what you're playing in, I'll figure something out.
I've never heard the song. What song is this?
But the band was really cool. They needed the rehearsals too, because they were recording. So by the time we got a couple of rehearsals in, I was coming up with parts and stuff. But it took me, a good half of the day to come down from the anxiety-riddled blur that ran into the room with his guitar laid, apologizing profusely. And when I finally did come down, I was like, that's anxiety.
Wait, I forgot about that. Wow, yeah, anxiety stuff.
It's a trigger. That thing starts early in the day.
So, obviously, I was there because you saw me there. But the funny part...
There was a fellow there that looked a lot like you, and he flipped me off, and that's when I realized it was you.
Yeah, when he was he was probably being really, really smarty, smarmy, and snarky.
Like
yeah. It was me. That's right. But when we talked about doing this, I asked him. I said, same question you did. I was like, do you just want to do videos? I mean, we have these great songs. Do you want to do, do you want to just let's just mime it and we'll create some videos for it and. So I had a completely different thing in mind myself, but he was like, I I just want to do live performances. And I'm like, okay, well, that's great, but the thing I explained to is like, well, now that means now we're doing new performances that you may or may not like when we're done. At least you like the record, and we can make a video for that. Yeah, but he was trying to get it actually for his. To be honest, it's mostly about EPKs, and I thought the performances felt really good. But I was walking around with a camera too.
It'll have to be straightened out, but I mean,
right.
Minor.
Yeah, I can't imagine. I mean, it really did sound good. In fact, it sounded like one of those nice big jazz fest bands, like Rolling Roadshow or something, because you had all these guys playing, great place. Mark was playing. Man, what's Mark's last name again?
Mark Carroll, yeah. He's
Carroll, right. I kept saying Carson. And
what's the fiddle player's name?
Johnny. And I don't know his last name, but his name is Johnny.
That's a talented cat, man.
Yeah, and he's a healthcare worker, right? I mean, he makes his money.
He's an ER doctor. He's not just a healthcare worker. He's ER.
Right.
That's like stressful, meeting them when they come in and making.
And he's so chill, right? I mean, he was just,
He's so mellow. Well, he's friends with two of my dear people I love, Doctors Slick and Dr. Campisi. They moved here right after Katrina. I mean, like when Lakeview was devastated, they bought a lot in Lakeview and built, and wanted to be part of the rebuilding effort. They knew there would be a need for doctors, and so they've been down here a long time. And this young man is working with them, and he said that about halfway through the session, put a big smile on my face because I love them both so dearly, and I explained a lot about his chill and his sweetness.
And so. Of the songs that we did, there was, 3 of them that were Freddie's, but then Johnny got to sing lead on a song, and John Herbert actually sang, who's also in the band, sang lead on a song, one of his own songs, actually. But then Johnny sings an Aaron Neville, basically a Neville song, an Aaron Neville song, sings the shit out of it, right? And it just sounded so wonderful, the groove and everything,
He's young enough not to know what kind of balls it takes to sing.
Right. He just I love the song, I'm going to sing it. And you're like, you're in New Orleans, dude. But he sang the shit out of it,
I love the naivete of that. He was no guile. There was no trying to sing it to be cool. He truly loved the song. He sang it in Aaron's key.
Right. And the groove. Oh, my God, the drummer and the bass player's groove. I love them so much. Look, I love my band. We're playing.
Okay. We're friends, and I let you do this to me all the time. This is the same thing as with the movie moment. The drummer and the bass player grooved. There I was playing the guitar part from the original Yellow Moon record.
Oh, but I told you how great that part was.
Oh, you were getting to it. After you said how great the bass player and the drummer grooved, you were going to get around to saying.
I hadn't gotten to the fact. By the way, I hadn't gotten to the fact that because Freddie actually takes the parts that you used to play in Cowboy Mouth. Suddenly, you're playing different parts that you would normally. I mean, generally, you're the guy who drives the rhythm, but in this thing, you're playing arpeggios. How many times yesterday did I tell you that's a cool part that you were playing? At least 3 times yesterday. I was like, "Oh, all right, we're on the record now. Gotcha." But you came up with some fucking killer fucking stuff yesterday that was different than
When Cowboy Mouth was making Mercyland, we had this great producer, Mike Barbiero. Mm-hmm. He had produced John Lennon's Milk and Honey record, the one that came out after he died, and produced a lot of records. But I mean, he was a seasoned veteran producer, and he had the band do a week of rehearsals. And on the first day of rehearsal, he came in. He said, "Okay, play songs," and he goes, "What's your part?" And I was strumming something, and he goes, "You're strumming there, but that's not a part. I need a part. I want a part for every one of these songs. I want to know what you're playing." Right. So then, I got a pretty active brain, so I started there was a note carefully selected for, every song. I was playing parts. And that stayed with me. And then when I was taking lessons with John Rankin, who's one of the best guitar players I ever met, I said, I'm getting better since I've been taking lessons with you. I feel like I can sit in now. Well, how is it that when I ask people like Craig Klein or, Alex McMurray or all these guys to sit in, they seem to know every single song? And he starts laughing. He goes, they don't. They know the key, and they know that your band knows the song, so they just stay out of the way.
Right.
They play a few notes here and there. They find the framework. You give them a solo, they take off. So when somebody asks you to sit in, it's because they know the song. The band knows it. So you don't have to try and play the whole song. You don't have to carry the band. Listen, find the key, and then think of a part that nobody else is playing.
Find a space, and you did that very well yesterday. And you're right. Freddie drives the band with the part. He plays basically your role in Cowboy Mouth. That's Freddie's role in Freddie's band, right? So he's just
he's a solid rhythm player.
Solid strumming rhythm. Here's the song. I'm sure he shows the band that way too, because hey, this is what we're doing, and then they pick it up. By the way, the Mercyland story, how I got on that was really kind of interesting, because I was on that record. I was the engineer on that one, and I actually really think that's, of all you guys' records, that's a very different, interesting record to me, because like you said, everybody had parts, and it was I don't know.
Unfortunate that I think the regime that put that record out got fired,
right?
And that record never really got a lot of push, but I thought I thought Mike did a really good job of bringing out some musicality in Cowboy
There's some
Mouth.
things it's a very different Cowboy Mouth record. I mean, it has those moments like Why You Want to Do Me that have that this is Cowboy Mouth moment, but there's a lot of songs on that thing that just, Griff's got a couple songs on there that are just so cool and different, and Tiny People, it's like so far out of anything else that you'll ever hear from Cowboy Mouth, like the way it sounds, the production of it.
Yeah, I'm really glad I put that on my last record and put out the version that I wanted out.
I thought the version that you guys did, even with that, was still a beautiful, different. I mean, for Cowboy Mouth, it was like
it was lovely. That bridge, it just irritated me.
Gotcha. I got to listen to it again.
Well, we rehearsed for a week. Nobody came up with an idea for that part. And it's the last rehearsal, and Fred goes, I got an idea for that. Right before we go into the solo, we go, whoa, 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 whoa. And literally before the words could come out of my mouth, that's one of the lamest ideas you've ever had. The producer went, I like it. And then Fred, who hadn't sung in the entire song, has a lead whoa, whoa section right before the bridge, inexplicably. And I didn't dislike it because it was Fred singing it, because I thought Fred had a beautiful voice, and if he sang more in the song, it would have made more sense. It was a part that stuck out like a sore thumb that didn't need to be there. I couldn't listen to it for 25 years. That's why I had to put it on my last record, so I just listened to the song again because I like it.
Right. So the funny story, wow, it was so, I think about this because, even though we're all friends in Cowboy Mouth or whatever, you guys are signed to A&M, it really wouldn't have been you guys' first thought to go, hey, let's bring Mikey in as the engineer, right? If I remember the story correctly, like, when I was there, you guys were like, what the fuck are you doing here? Because I was doing Vermilion, and Mike Barbiero had come to see Dockside with some other engineers, and during that day, Russell wanted to change some drum parts, and so Barbiero hung around the studio for about an hour, just listening and watching, and so I went and I marked the microphones before he changed some things so that, we could get back in case we needed. We thought we were done with that drum kit, but just in case we needed to get it back and do some things, we wanted to make some marks and whatever. So I put the marks, and Barbiero's like, okay, can we have that guy as the engineer? Just because I made marks and stuff like that and was, aware that things change and we want to.
Yeah.
So. Long story short, I do remember the first day of the recording, and obviously some of the guys knew because we had to work out contracts and blah 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 at that point in time. But I do remember like Griff and that coming in and going, "Mikey, what the fuck are you doing here, dude?" And yeah. He might have even been told, and he still didn't even remember, right? I mean,
one of the famous things about Griff was you could say, "Hey, dude, we're going out to a bar in like an hour. You want to go?" He'd go, "Right on, dude. I'll get ready." And then you'd go to his room, and he'd be reading or playing a video, or whatever he was doing. You go, "Dude, we're leaving," and go to that bar, and he goes, "Dude, nobody tells me anything."
Right. So maybe you're right.
Live above Griff, right? When Cowboy Mouth started, he had this place at the end of Bank Street, right on the interstate, next to the music store. It was convenient because we could walk around the block to Sound City and buy our strings and stuff. And I was going through the first of my divorces, and he said the apartment above me is available. So I moved in above Griff, and it was pretty nice. he'd have coffee every morning, and we wrote a lot of songs together. I didn't have any furniture. I just had a sleeping bag and my clothes in the closet. And then we went on tour, and my roof caved in while we were gone for 6 weeks, and all my clothes mildewed. Forever after, Griff referred to my apartment as the House of Mildew. But we were living, on top of each other, so we were always hanging out, and he loved to play tennis, and I'd be like, dude, after coffee, I'll go grab my racket, we'll go play tennis. And he'd be like, cool, dude. So I'd have a shower, grab my racket. By the time I get downstairs, there's 2 other guys pulling up with tennis rackets, and they're just looking at each other like, Griff called you? Yeah, he wanted me to play tennis with him. Okay. There's. He wanted to play. He totally forgot that he was playing with me. And Billy Landry, to come play tennis. And
that's awesome.
Player. So I had to go, you're a way better player. Go hit with him.
Oh, that's awesome. So he called me, I guess, a week ago. The Red Rockers, is it the 30th anniversary or something of the Red Rockers record? They're supposed to be playing during Jazz Fest, from what I understand.
Nice.
And actually, he got his hands on the master tapes, and we're gonna go and and we're gonna do some either some remixing or remastering on the original master tapes at some point coming up.
I'm thrilled about this.
Yes, I'm waiting for him to Dropbox it to me. But yes, isn't that cool?
The Red Rockers are gonna play Jazz Fest.
That's what I understand.
That's cool.
Yes, that's totally cool.
Oh man. Oh, I'm gonna be in the audience like a little fanboy.
Right.
I thought they were great. I was, Fred and I, when we were in the Backbeats, was when the Red Rockers started, and we played shows with them before they went out west. But when they came back, they were signed to CBS, and the little tiny label in San Francisco had been bought by the major, so they were on MTV and the whole deal. And for a time, they bought a house on River Road. And I remember we used to hang out there all the time, hoping somebody would quit.
Right.
And so, we made our first 5-song EP, All the Fun in the World. We hired Ivan Neville to do the mix. And Ivan had stayed up until 5 in the morning playing with the Neville brothers. So he came to the studio and went to sleep while we mixed the record. And so we went to, what was the name of the club in Metairie? Some club in Metairie, maybe Deja Vu. It was like a club that played new wave records, back when they had that new wave period where clubs were playing new wave records. So we knew the DJ and we're like, hey, you can play our record. And, they played it and it sounded like a locally produced record. It was okay. It was cool. Everybody was like, hey, guys, it sounds awesome, whatever. And we're feeling good. And then Griff comes in and we knew him enough to say hello, but that was it. And he gives his fucking CBS release to the DJ, and they put it on, and I remember Fred and I, both of our heads just fell down instantly. It sounded so good.
Right.
We knew our shit sounded like local amateur shit, and that was the real deal.
Well, he had a real producer, and the whole thing, and
well, John's a really great singer.
And he's of course, I mean, yeah,
he's the goods,
But my point being is, you guys made a record that was local, and he made a record that was
the budget. They had the producer. They had a great producer. I understand all that, but they had great songs. They were clearly defined as a band, and he was a really strong rock singer. I know.
Mm-hmm. He still is. Who's
and he had that star quality. He was a great looking guy with blonde hair. The camera loved him.
Those blue eyes and the big grin and smile. I mean, yeah.
Yeah, I was standing with my friend Rick Gernhauser outside of Jimmy's, and Griff walked up to me as we were all going in to see somebody play, and he just goes, "Hey man, you know a lot of country songs. You and me need to get together and play some country music." And I go, "Great." And he walks away, and Griff goes, "You know John Thomas Griffith?" And I went, "No."
That's awesome. Oh my God. I'm looking here at some of the chat. Oh, by the way, Freddie Blue jumped in. So Johnny, the violin player's last name is Viner. So I just want to put that out there. Johnny Viner. Yeah.
Oh, and he's great.
And
he's a doctor, an ER doctor, so I told him he saves lives and he saves souls with his music.
So I want to tell all our guests who maybe haven't figured this out, me and Griff share a lot of common qualities. One of them being, he's saying how badass you were.
Well,
one of the qualities that
Like,
Yeah. One of the qualities that John and I share is that I have no mind for details. I do know that Red Rockers are playing during Jazz Fest time. They have a big gig. It's a reunion gig. Is it at Jazz Fest? I'm not sure, but it will be during that time period. If not, I think it's Jazz Fest, but I'm not 100% on it because I don't have a good mind for.
It was actually at the Fairgrounds.
I hope so too.
Never played there in their heyday. Jazz Fest was a little more restrictive about rock and roll when the Red Rockers were having their role. But hell, man, they were on a major label. They had hits. They toured with the Go-Go's and U2 and.
I'll tell you what I'm going to do, guys. I'm gonna Wednesday. I'll have an update. I'll reach out to Griff and find out what exactly this gig is, and then on Wednesday we'll give an update of exactly what is going on with this.
Is Mark Rosenbaum watching today? Can you see on the thread? Is Mark Rosenbaum watching?
Yes. Yep. He was here first.
Oh, he's gone.
No. I mean, he's probably still here, but he was one of the first chats.
We should ask him to be the guest on Wednesday.
All right, Mark, you want to come be the guest on Wednesday? Just either let us know in chart.
Jazz Fest is approaching, and he has the blown glass thing he does. He sells the glass at Jazz Fest. And I don't know how viable it is for the show, but it'd be kind of cool if he could talk a little bit and we could, do our usual knuckleheaded joke around thing with him. But if he could blow something, that might be really... That
might be really cool, too. And if you want to just send us some of your pieces... Yep, he says he's still here. So, what do you think, Mark? You want to come hang out with us? You could send me some. I could always show some of your pieces, or you could maybe blow something like Paul says live.
Yeah, can you do the show on Wednesday, Mark?
I guess it'll be a minute before you can get back with us. So he says sure. Look at that. Boom! Look at that. This is what technology. During the show, we book someone for Wednesday's show. This is crazy.
Well, I was thinking we started talking about Jazz Fest. And I was thinking that's probably going to be a fun idea as we lead up to what hopefully will be Jazz Fest, to do some Jazz Festian things.
I'm concerned. I was talking to Skeet this morning. The Skeet lives in Missouri. I don't know who's been paying attention.
Missouri, bad.
And I don't know who's been paying attention. Yeah, well, he says in Springfield they are putting out feelers across the state to every place else, begging for healthcare workers to come help. They're in over their heads in Springfield. They can't handle the influx right now. They're almost to. He says they're to New York. Remember New York in March when it first started with the body bags?
I've been watching the news. It's spiking largely in the South, but it's now in all 50 states, the Delta variant. And as it's been referred to by the CDC, it's largely a pandemic of the unvaccinated at this point.
Right. But sadly, the people that are vaccinated, you're still, it's only a 90-something%, and luckily the number's still, I think it's below 1%, but it's still in the 1 to 2% range.
We're still getting sick.
Yes.
Yeah, we're still sitting in the non-peeing section of the swimming pool.
Yes, we are.
So the pee's going to get on us eventually.
Yes.
Not all of us are going to be soaked in urine, but some of us are going to have it reach our ankles or some shit. And so it's I don't want to judge somebody for being rude, thoughtless, and self-centered, so I won't say anything.
Well, see, it's starting to mess with my money, because now we're starting to open back up again, and I'm seriously concerned we're going to be a week out of Jazz Fest, and they're going to have to shut it down, and go, either that, or they're going to be like, I'm just concerned.
In Florida, DeSantis, he should be arrested for mass murder. They have one of the highest COVID rates in the country, and he's busy poking fun at Fauci with his merchandise that he's selling. The governor's selling merchandise that says, "We won't Fauci Florida." And, somebody should be selling a shirt that says, "Death count X amount, Governor DeSantis."
Right, except for, how do you stay current on that one, right? It's just, you'd have to sell one once a week. Right.
Trump's on trial for tax evasion in New York, but 500,000 people plus died of COVID, as he claimed hoax and Democratic nonsense. And I'm not talking politics here. There are Republicans now that are starting to get the message that he was insane and in it for himself. It's not red and blue. It's that guy he's got one color. He's always had one color. He's been a Democrat. He's been a Republican. His color is green. And he doesn't care how he gets it.
Right.
And killing 500,000 people that he's a sociopath, so he has no feeling for them, meant nothing. He was profiting.
Right. It's all about the money. If some people, but if, like you said,
ridiculous thing, because it's like you don't want to listen to doctors and you don't want to be vaccinated. Okay, now people that aren't vaccinated are dying. You want to listen now? No? Okay. You want to say it's about Trump? You want to say it's about you're too conservative? You want to say it's about religious value? I have to quote Dean Wormer here and say fat, drunk, and stupid is no way to go through life.
Right. I just one more quick, and then we'll get off the whole politics thing. But I was looking at, I saw a bunch of signs over the weekend from these people saying, "My body, my choice," and it occurred to me that many of these people are the ones who feel the opposite when it comes to other things. Abortion. Yes. Yeah. It was really kind of funny to me.
The same people that are pro-abortion are pro-capital. I mean, that are anti-abortion are pro-capital punishment. So,
right.
You know,
right.
Yeah. Irony is left out of their dictionary.
Because this particular event is very ironic. I'm like, did you guys just borrow the signs? Because the signs look exactly the same. So anyway, it's like,
yeah, well, and it isn't really, because your body being infected affects my choice, and it affects the choice of children and grandparents all around the country. You know, I got.
You're right. It's not the same thing at all. Right. It's not the same thing at all.
I got smallpox vaccination in 1961 and never got smallpox. You know why? Because I got a smallpox vaccination. Got vaccinated for measles too. Didn't get measles.
Polio? Never got polio.
Now, I don't have any kids of my own, but you know why my wife's children don't have smallpox vaccinations? But she got a fucking smallpox vaccination, and we eradicated the disease.
Right,
you know?
right. But and then the anti-vaxxers started bringing that back, and all of a sudden, next thing you know, smallpox is back on the menu along with measles because they started having outbreaks again because of people that weren't getting vaccinations. So whatever, you know.
You know, Jim, what's his name? I love him so much. Jim Jeffries, the Australian comedian. He had a child, and his wife, or his girlfriend, because they never did get married, he said, I'm sitting there with her one day, and she says, I don't want to get the baby vaccinated. And it's one of those moments where your mind just goes, this is going to be a long fucking argument. So I said, okay, why? And please don't say Jenny McCarthy. And she says, because Jenny McCarthy says, I said, hold it right there. Jenny McCarthy is two of my favorite things. She's a stand-up comic and a Playboy bunny, and I love both. She's not someone I get medical advice from. She says, well, she said she got her son vaccinated and now he's autistic. And he goes, is he? Is he really? Or is he just Jenny McCarthy's son?
Just on that note, a good friend of mine was telling me, he's like, look, politically, I'm not against the vaccine. He's literally afraid because he's heard stories from people in his family. So one of them was that there was this lady, and I had seen her 2 weeks before she got the vaccination, and she was fine. And then she got the vaccination, and then she wound up in the hospital. And I said, do you know it was caused by the vaccination? He goes, well, they're not. They're saying it's not, but you know. And I said, so something happened, like maybe you were walking. People who have heart attacks, who maybe got checked out a week early. I mean, it's
jokes and anger aside. It's that's fear, which is ignorance blossoming.
Right.
And so I'm sorry for their fearfulness, and it's going to cost many more lives before they wake to the fact that this is medicine and this is science, and science has saved lives in the past and it is trying to save lives now.
Right.
I won't vent or be angry about it anymore, and I certainly don't wish bad things on those people. I do think yet one more irony of the far right is that for years they embraced the slogan, kill them all, let God sort it out. And it seems like he's doing that.
Yeah. There's a ton of them that we could definitely go through. Let's see here. Shmoo, what you got there? She's talking about her kids with the non-peeing section of the pool. She's got whether or not I give birth does not impact your ability to give birth. You're right. I think she's joining you there on what you said. And of course,
the other crazy thing is, people like giving you an eyeball because you're wearing a mask now. And somebody looks at me and goes, "Why are you wearing a mask?" I'm like, "Why are you wearing that shirt? It doesn't look good on you at all." You're a fashion statement, so am I, man.
Yeah, I have gotten some weird, like when I go into a restaurant these days to go pick up, because we still haven't gone out to eat. Like we'll pick up food. I'll go and I'll pick it up. And, part of it is just habit, but part of it I realize it's a good habit. So I always put on my mask as I go in. And you do get the looks. It was surprising to me that you get some sideways looks from people. Not everybody, but there's some people that look at you like, yeah, who's that guy think he is? And it's like, really?
I look back at him. I look back at him the same way. Who's that guy think he is? It's like
fire with fire.
It's, like, it's almost like on an astral plane we're having that conversation. Right. I think most of the time we come to an agreement that we both know who we are and we don't like each other and we part ways.
Did you, changing the subject, the Hulu's got this thing out right now called Summer of Soul. It was basically a concert in Harlem that happened at the same time as Woodstock.
I stupidly canceled Hulu 2 weeks before Summer of Love and the McCartney thing came out. So, like, bad luck, schleprock. Looking at things to cancel, and I canceled the coolest thing. Now everybody's talking about Hulu all of a sudden. Hulu went to sleep for like 8 months. There's nothing happened on Hulu.
And now all of a sudden
you got Hulu because it's this great McCartney thing. Now to get the 30-day trial and have to try and remember to cancel it.
Yes. I was gonna say was I've watched some of it. My wife and my friend Earl keep telling me you need to watch it, but I watched some of it. The thing that bummed me out was there's not even any whole performances of like a single song, and I'm like, are you guys gonna put this? Yeah, I mean it's more of a documentary about the event, and
probably couldn't get the rights. It's a lot more expensive when you use the whole song.
Maybe.
Snippet of the song, it's a lot less expensive.
Gotcha. Well, that's a drag because there's some Stevie Wonder stuff that just blows your mind, and he's playing drums and stuff. I mean, and his voice back then, right?
Yeah. Oh yeah. And still a great singer, but I mean, just born with it.
Yeah. What Fingertips? How old was you when he did Fingertips? 15.
Yeah, I think he was even younger. I mean,
maybe 12, right? Because he was the original boy wonder before Michael Jackson. It was Stevie Wonder.
Oh, yeah. He was Little Stevie Wonder.
Little Stevie Wonder, right? Yeah. And so he was the one who kind of paved the way for Michael and them just by being that little guy who was just amazing and everything. So
that's a talent touched by God,
They want to turn your mic up, so I'll turn you up. I'm probably just too loud.
What a shocker!
There I go again. There he goes again, huh?
Mikey's never-ending and ongoing attempts to minimize my contributions to the show, to his film, to yesterday's show. I'm sure when you see Freddie's video, I'll be completely edited out of it. Some evil game Mike Mayhew is playing. It's a present he's given an old friend that he used to play music with or something. I don't know.
Yeah, I'm so sorry, guys. The funny thing is that it's like I don't even ever think about that because we just go the same settings every day. So I don't know. Maybe it's further away from you.
So most of my wit and wisdom has been wasted today because you had me turned down.
Oh, now it's funny because he said, Paul, your mic needs it, but he said it like my name. So my mic is. Yeah, when we said your mic, and then I saw myself. It's like, hey, Paul, your Mike Mayhew needs to be turned up.
Boy, he started a whole sidetrack discussion of your ego.
So I think now you're peeking out
Mike's
instead
mic
of me.
is peeking out, is what it says.
He says all better. Look at that, all better.
Well, it's tough when the pros tune in.
Yes, yes.
We don't need people expecting shit.
By the way, just for me to make an excuse for myself. My God, I didn't get home till 11:30 last night because we did some more recording after.
Poor thing. I'm glad I got out of there. They needed to do more recording without me in it. I mean, I was glad to contribute, but
we only did one. We did one more version of that song, and I think we were talking about it. The only reason that we wouldn't use the version that you were in is if they wanted to do a song with just them, because they didn't actually do any songs with just them. So
I offered to step out, and Freddie just kept saying stay, and
right,
I was I wanted to help him in any way he wanted me to help him.
But I thought you did great. Yeah, so even though I know you were uncomfortable at certain times with
I hadn't played in a year and a half, like it was just I literally got home and Allison's like, how'd you do? I said, I had a massive anxiety attack. Hadn't played in a year and a half.
Oh, my God.
Managed to get it under control about halfway through the session,
Uh-huh. Yeah, you know what's funny is I didn't think you were nervous. I didn't catch it, so I was busy doing my own thing, but I didn't really catch you being nervous. So
I know me nervous, and it was me nervous. I'm really funny when I'm nervous. I'm a real wise ass.
You don't want to know what Shmoo said a minute ago.
What you say?
All the whining, and still Paul keeps showing up. That's all I'm gonna say. Just let Shmoo speak for me.
I don't even know what she's talking about. Does she mean showing up at the coffee show? This is easy.
No, yeah. Well, that's what she's saying. All the whining, and you still show up every morning to get the Mikey to let me walk all over you and treat you like a second class star.
That's the wife I chose to marry. That's the tech I chose to work with. That was the drummer I worked with. I chose people to walk all over me.
This is your own morning show, and you still get walked on.
It's unbelievable. You talked me into it. I knew you had a reason. It was because
I could beat you back down.
I had pushed the people out of my life that were pushing me around, so you joined in.
Oh no! Everybody's going hooray for Shmoo!
Damn, bro.
Tough crowd. Tough crowd. So
now I'm sorry that I paid that money to keep the show going. We should have taken their money, done the GoFundMe.
I know we were thinking about taking you guys' money, but Paul's like, let's don't make them. We won't make them pay.
Let's don't make them pay. Let's just do it. Now they're making me pay.
By the way, I don't know if she's here this morning. The coffee cups. Ow, I'm itchy.
Amy, coffee
Amy.
Cups are ready. So if you would like to purchase another cup of coffee, I don't even know how much it costs yet, but it's going to look like the logo right in front of me and Mikey, and I can't wait to buy mine from her, and all that stuff. We have merchandise.
Yeah, I think it's that one that actually comes on the title with the 2 cups of coffee, the one with the beans and the one with the liquid. I think it's going to be that.
My sister just posted, "We love you, Paul."
Yeah,
and she had to. You know what I'm saying?
Now no sound.
Gonna see me at home.
Did my mic go away? It looks like it's supposed to be having sound. Detective Dillard wouldn't put up with this abuse.
I'm telling you. Thank you, Shmoo.
I think somebody's fucking with me because I know we're sending sound. If we're not getting sound, it has to do with YouTube. So I think people are fucking with me.
Copyright warning because we're using another cup of coffee, and some company in Germany and Switzerland is claiming it. And I think it has to do with the fact that I'm on CD Baby. So now I have to look into how do I take all my shit off CD Baby? Because I'm not moving CDs anymore through them. All that means is that they are making money off of streaming my music. I'm getting 0.4% or whatever the fuck it is, and they're getting their 0.1% of my 0.4%. So I'm gonna have to talk to a lawyer and go, how do I get all my shit off CD Baby? Which means it's gonna be pulled from every streaming channel. And you know what, Mikey? That's part of my plan. I've been talking about it for a while. I'm going rotary phone. I'm going snail mail. And if you want to buy my music, it's going to be available at Louisiana Music Factory, old school.
Well, not only that,
download doesn't make any money.
What about that thing Rob was doing, right? I mean, the whatever that thing we were trying to put the music on.
That's where I'll do my downloads. I'll do my downloads through Nerve, the company that Rob Savoy is working with out of Boston. That way, the people that only do downloads will still have access, but it's not going to be all over the world for free.
I think we're going to do the same thing. We'll just pull all our stuff and we'll all go to Nerve. Because, I mean, you're right. I mean, I've been telling you that we get a copyright claim for using your own song, but the idea that now they're going after you about it doesn't it piss you off? It's like, it's my show. Look at...
And they're blocking the song in Switzerland and Germany. And I'm like, what the fuck right do you have? I wrote that song in 1987. Get out of my pockets, man.
Right. And that's the crazy thing about it. It's like...
I feel like today's been a show of bitching. And I'm sorry about that. But these are the things that happened, and that's what we cover, is the shit that happened. And I don't know how people feel about streaming. Maybe they like it. I'll do it on Nerve, but that's the straw that broke this old camel's back. Right.
Boston. So anyway, I'm trying to think about I had something in mind. You know, I guess YouTube works fine. I mean, you and I never had the amount of people to make money off of these shows. You got to have like, I think 1,000 subscribers and stuff like that before you can even. No. We're happy to see if we break 100 on the streams. We're just like, hey, look at that, we broke 100 again. That's awesome. By the way, the first show I think is almost at 1,000. So apparently that seems to be people's way in. And I guess they watch that show and go, yeah, I'm not watching any more of them. That was fun. That was fun. I enjoyed it, but I got my fill. Who needs that? Current events. I have no idea what we even talked about that day. I haven't watched that show since we did it. I don't know what we talked about in any of them.
When it's over. No.
It's funny because when you started saying the bitching, man, I'm like, I think we started off in a different place because we were talking about Freddie and the weekend, and that wasn't bitching, right?
That was me whining about my anxiety attack. So I did a lot of bitching today. I'm sorry.
Bitching is funny. In fact, I remember Shamu saying that she wanted to trigger you she was going to start giving us thumbs down just to trigger you, to get you to bitch about getting a thumbs down. Who the fuck gave us a thumbs down?
That person has not come back.
Yeah, see, that's the way you do it, right? I mean, you just exercise your I don't want to watch this show. You don't come back. You have to give a thumbs down.
Come back, give me a thumbs down.
Asshole.
Why don't you leave me your name so I can go to where you work and just walk in your office and look at you for a few minutes and go, thumbs down.
That would be funny.
You're a data processing entry, dude. Thumbs down.
It makes me think I would like to go to all the people that put thumbs down on YouTube stuff and just go, hey, guy. I don't.
Thumbs down on you.
Yeah.
On you. Just for you.
Just for you. I can see them too going, what did I do? What did I do? It's like, yeah, you know what you did. You know what you did, you loudmouth little, You know what you did.
Oh, well. Saint season is about to start, Mikey.
Shut the fuck up.
Training camp opens this week.
You're kidding me. All right.
And guess what happened the day before training camp?
What?
Our best defensive lineman got busted for banned substance, and he's out for the first 6 games.
6 games?
Awesome. 6 games. And we let
Was it weed?
Go.
Was it weed or steroids?
No, it was like a performance-enhancing thing.
Okay, steroidy thing, gotcha.
You probably didn't even know. Those guys use trainers that give them different kinds of supplements, and sometimes the supplement has it in it, and they get burned. I think the days of players juicing and all that stuff, I don't know if they're still doing that. That's ridiculous shit. But anyway, it's a drag, because he was a talented player, and I think they were banking on him being the anchor of the line, because they let 3 defensive linemen go. Malcolm Roach, Sheldon Rankins, and Trey Hendrickson's 13 and a half sacks.
They let him go? Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. I guess they couldn't afford to keep him? Is that kind of the thinking? Or
they didn't have the cap room.
I thought they had tons of money right now. I heard that they No, it's not. Huh?
They made some when Drew officially retired. Why didn't he do it when we could afford to keep Hendrickson? I don't know. But when he officially retired, it freed up some cap room, and then they made some moves on players' salaries and freed up enough cap room to sign a few guys. But we were and the league lowered the salary cap this year. So while the owners are a non-profit organization that don't pay taxes, the players have their salaries capped. You can only make this much.
You saw Mark just said it was his second time getting caught, apparently. I didn't know that. What was it? Is it? Oh, it begins with an O, right? Wasn't it? What's his name?
Onyemata.
Onyemata. Yeah, I thought it was
Onyemata. Great player.
Mm-hmm. Sadly, he'll be missed. 6 games. That's a harsh fucking 6 games, man.
Yeah, it's a harsh suspension. Yeah. That's
nearly half a season. So I heard that the NFL is going. Everybody has to be vaccinated, or you don't get to play. And it makes me wonder if they're gonna I mean, who knows where they're gonna stand with audiences, especially with the Delta variant going around. But I'm guessing that.
I'm guessing you have to be vaccinated to go to a game.
Yeah, probably, huh? You'll have to be.
I think that's what they're doing.
Oh, no kidding.
I think that's what they're doing with baseball right now too.
Because I was telling some friends of mine, it's going to be up to the businesses to really, the government's not going to step up and do this. It's going to be up to businesses to sort of force the issue with getting people vaccinated.
I think so too. Yeah.
And I know they don't want to have to deal with it. And I know they don't want to have to be the bad guys. I mean, they're businesses. They don't want to, they're potentially losing some customers and stuff. It's not really the role that they should be playing, but they're going to have to.
It's a weird time in history, man. It really is. And we're looking at, it's like I'm watching a hurricane coming.
I was wondering the same thing Mark just asked. Is it going to be during the preseason as well, or just regular season?
I don't know. Yeah. But it is. It's like I'm watching a hurricane coming and people are getting ready for a hurricane party. And I want to scream, get out. Don't do the party. Get out.
It's so early, though. Maybe, I don't know. He says he could actually hear me drinking the coffee. I guess my mic is up really loud. You can go to Fenway. Pretty sure they're not checking vax status, Shmoo says, in Boston. So, apparently...
Uptown.
Most of the cities are like oasis, though. From what I understand, most of the cities are above 60% at least. Some of them are higher than that. It's just, it's all the people that live out in the woods that are kind of crazy.
Luis says that the last White Sox game he went to, they were offering vaccinations at the game.
They were doing it at the Pelicans, too. When we were about halfway through the season, they started offering vaccinations you could go and get vaccinated at the game. Yeah, they're trying to do their part.
Yeah, whatever works, man.
Oh, look, Mark seems to say it's just regular season. So, yeah, look at this. Some people know what the hell's going on. Regular season with Onyemata. So he does get to play through the preseason. We get to get a look at him. Because I was worried if he'd be rusty, right? I mean, if he can't play the whole time, and then suddenly that's like coming back from an injury, and then how long is it going to take him to get back in the flow,
I don't know. So, it's going to take him a while. It's going to be interesting.
Great intel as we prepare to put the record out. What intel is that, Mr. Blue?
About the CD Baby, yeah.
Oh, yes, gotcha, right. By the way,
I started with CD Baby in the early 90s, and it was an excellent tool, because it was all new, and it was a way to get your CDs around the world and all that kind of stuff. But CDs aren't really popular anymore. They don't sell that well. So now it's more a way of you to send them your music so that they can get you on streaming services that then won't pay you.
Right.
So it dawned on me that I don't really need to be doing that anymore.
Yeah, and I mean they were a good way onto iTunes early on and stuff. If you were on CD Baby, then you were they just kind of it rolled into iTunes and things like that, which at the time, it was helpful. You're right.
Right. Or you could apply directly to iTunes.
Right, but if you had CD Baby, you didn't have to go through all of that, right? You just
But I think iTunes paid you a little more if you went direct. I don't know.
Yeah, anyway, no, you're right, because you get the whole half instead of having to share that with CD Baby. Right, because iTunes takes their half no matter what, right?
Yeah, I think I have gotten my last copyright warning from CD Baby, so
I think we have to do the same thing. I remember when you were doing, you had put one of our songs on the thing, and remember you called me, you wrote to me going, "Oh my God, what the fuck are you guys doing to me? I got a copyright claim on your song," and it was a CD Baby thing, and we had to clear that stuff up. So yeah, copyright claim. I've heard there's a guy named Rick Beato who's got a great YouTube channel himself. He actually has millions of viewers and stuff, but he's like a music teacher, but he also does these things called, what's great about certain songs. Like, so he'll pick different pop songs or whatever, and he gets the multi-tracks, and he can kind of like, he'll play you just a drum groove and stuff like that and talk about why this drum groove is great. And it's fun for people that like to dig into music and things like that. But he's had a few videos where he complains where a band like, what was the name? It was, oh my God, King Crimson, right? So he does a thing about a King Crimson song. Now nobody in this generation's heard of King Crimson, but because of Rick Beato's show being so popular, suddenly they got a bump up in sales and stuff like that, and one of their records actually made the top 10 on iTunes Music. But they took down his video with copyright claims, and he's like, And so he reaches out to he actually knew one of the guys in the band. And so he's talking to him at some point, and he's just like, yeah, I was, I'd put this thing out with your thing. And the guy was like, oh, thank you so much. That was awesome. He goes, oh, yeah? Well, they pulled it, and I got a copyright thing against it. And the guy in the band didn't know, had no control. And it's one of those things again where you got some little fucking pencil neck dude who's, looking for everything he can find, and who says he represents the band, but really doesn't. He just represents the interest of whatever company.
Now that means I'll have to make videos for all the songs because they're on YouTube because CD Baby has put them on YouTube. But fuck, I'll do it.
I mean, you paid and made for those videos?
It's just a picture of the record.
Oh, gotcha. Yeah, you'll have to make those again. Yeah.
Yeah.
But no, we're doing it on Nerve. Remember, it'll be on Nerve. So
right,
I guess
that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, I mean, you still probably want to put some stuff on YouTube at some point, but
you want to have stuff on YouTube.
Yeah, but we can do that easy enough. It's easy enough.
Yeah.
Screw them.
Yeah.
Screw them.
You can teach me how to do it now that you're such a film pro.
Actually, yeah, I think you could actually do this one pretty easily. Yeah, I think.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. If you actually, you might want to do before you contact them is go save the images. Just in case you can't find them. And you're like, I don't know where the goddamn image for this thing went. You can go and right click.
I got all my CDs.
But do you have the images? Do you have them in digital format?
Time period. I'll make a fucking video, man.
Yeah, fuck it, right? You'll just put up a bunch of photos and let it keep switching. That could be fun.
I'll take people on little trips through the stories. What am I doing?
Right. It could be like Amazon, like watching a movie on Amazon. You click on the thing and it tells you who played there, maybe with a picture of them. It could be fun.
See, I don't know. Yeah.
Get fancy.
We'll see.
It sounds like a lot of work, but,
Yeah, I won't be doing it. I think that's enough for today.
Yep. And we do have Mark on Wednesday, I guess. You'll reach out to him.
Yeah, it's going to be fun. He's going to blow some glass. It'll be awesome.
Yeah, I like it. I'm a fan.
And if you're a jazz fester, and I know the Gussmans are, and Shmoo's been a jazz fest, and a lot of folks out there that listen have been a jazz fest, and you've seen his work in the booth, and Rose Tree Gallery is his gallery. You can find him online. But on Wednesday, he'll talk about it and do some glass blowing.
What's funny is I just realized I'd been talking to my friend Kathy about the same Wednesday. Remember I was telling you the girl I went to school with, I'd done some songs with her, a song with her during the pandemic. And she was up to doing it and everything, and I think we were going to do it. But then I got so busy, I'm not sure. I'm just going to reach out to her today and say, can you do next Wednesday? And then Chopper, too, is up for doing one. He was just busy last week. So maybe we might have guests over the next few weeks. Chopper will be a fun one to bring up during for Jazz Fest, too, right? Because he's got, we got to reach out and remind everybody and just make sure everybody's on board and all that stuff.
Yeah.
And
that'll be fun. I love Chopper.
And we'll reach out to Amy, you guys, and as soon as I have some information about how to order the cups, I'll start putting them in the description every day. So if somebody wants to order cups and things, I think they're going to be $50 a piece. It's going to be cheap, $50 for a cup of coffee, no, coffee doesn't come. Coffee doesn't come in the cup. It'll just be a cup.
Cup of coffee. It took me a second. That's great. Let's end with a laugh. That's a great way to end this show.
Yes. So thank you guys for coming.
The special autographed ones, for $2.
Hey, no, that's a great idea. We could start. You and I could sit around with a Sharpie one day, and those would be the $50 ones.
I think he's talking to somebody.
Oh no, not Inferno. He says it's Rose Tree Blown Glass Studio and Gallery. Yes.
And if Shmoo were listening to me, she would have heard me say that.
That's right. All right, guys.
Probably
thank you for coming. And me and Mr. Sanchez will see you guys on Wednesday. We're going to play our copyright infringement song right now. We're going to piss them off. Let's get another. We're going to get another copyright.
They won't hear it in Germany and Switzerland.
That's right. Damn it. And the Germans, I keep getting emails from the Germans and Swiss. They want the show. This is bullshit.
Well, clearly the Germans would love me.
Yes, yes.
As they always love the Spanish.
All right, guys. Thank you. That's another one in the books. See you next time.
like a cat, it was a present from my brother. I read a lot of books, but I couldn't see between the lines. I'll have another cup of coffee if you don't mind. Well, her hair is as black as an alleyway, and it used to be red, and it used to be blonde. Truth is, her hair changes color all the time. I'll have another cup of coffee if you don't mind. I'll have another cup of coffee if you don't mind. Well, I'm staring at her shoulder, but it's not what I see when I hear two fellas fighting in the booth across from me. So I wipe away the ashes from an empty counter seat, and I wished I wasn't homesick, I wish I was asleep. Well, I hold her like a blanket up against my chin, and I need her like I need another pack of chewing gum. Well, we used to be like that, but now we're like this all the time. I'll have another cup of coffee if you don't mind. I'll have another cup of coffee if you don't mind. I'll have another cup of coffee if you don't mind.